That is right. I hope you guys enjoyed EdwardStarcraft casting, and now he's going to take a break while I cast Fnatic, MSI, KawaiiRice versus Sterling here, and these are probably the two favorite to win the tournament. This will be more than likely one of the most intense matches of of the series. And while I say that, YouTube is loading for Sterling, but oh my god, have both of these players come a long way in this tournament, not dropping a game, but one of them will be losing today. KawaiiRice versus Sterling, only one will come out a winner. One will have his winning streak ended right here, right now. It looks like we have a TVT. Now, we've already seen a fairly interesting TVT previously at the beginning of this tournament that included a lot of nuclear warfare and some very interesting play. So, oh my god. So if you guys aren't familiar with the setup of this land shop, it is relatively small, so we are kind of concerned for players hearing the casters, the casting being me, MRZ. I hope you guys have been enjoying the tournament thus far. So we have Sterling here spawning as a red Terran against KawaiiRice spawning as a yellow Terran. Both of these players doing really well in the tournament so far, and both of them just demonstrating why they are in the Grandmasters League. KawaiiRice, obviously a very popular name. Sterling himself not too unpopular. But who is the better player of the two? We will find out today in a best-of-3 series here. Our first map is Crossfire. It's the new school Peaks of Baekdu. And Sterling and KawaiiRice will be duking it out on this map. Now, we've watched a lot of games in this GameClucks LAN tournament in Seattle, Washington. My god, if you guys are in the state, if you guys are even like 6 hours away, you should come here so that we can see you. But I mean, it's a bit too late now because we'll probably be gone. But we would have loved to see you. We would have loved to see you here. So the next event, please do show up. I mean, we are all people living in the Washington area, participating in this excellently run tournament. Tons of fun here. But let's get back into the game. So far, Barracks Gas standard for both players. KawaiiRice doing the same thing, and you know, we saw Sterling play a TVT against another player in this tournament, Picnic. And Picnic, you know, he plays random, but he tried to go for an echoic style Terran build, and Sterling, I have to say, responded perfectly in every single situation. He took that, he made his choices very, very cleanly, very, very optimally. And in another scenario, when he was playing TVT against Picnic, they both did a kind of a bio tank play, and Sterling just continued to demonstrate that he had really, really solid decision making, and that's what will win you games in TVT. Ooh, the scouting SUV does get picked off. I don't think it was able to see. No, it was not able to see if KawaiiRice got the second gas. So critical information denied there by KawaiiRice. Very good job by him, microing that Marine perfectly. And here comes a factory for Sterling, but no second gas just yet. Might be going down soon, though. Sterling may make a starport fairly soon, doing that 1-1-1 opening style that is so popular in TVT. Let's go and see what KawaiiRice has. Similarly, getting that factory up and both getting their second gas, so we could be seeing very, very, very similar openings from both of these players. It all depends who decides to go for Banshees, if they both decide to go for Banshees, or if they go for a more standard Viking tank opening. And this is kind of the intense stage of the game here, and always the opening phases are very intense because you just don't know what your opponent is doing. There are just so many possibilities that you can't guarantee that you would be well defended against either any one of them. And it's really going to be critical scouting information that's going to allow you to make sure that you know how to best defend yourself against your opponent's aggression. But Sterling gonna get a tech lab on his factory. Let's go and take a look at what KawaiiRice is doing. Similarly, getting that tech lab, but it looks like Sterling started a starport, but KawaiiRice is kind of holding off on his tech building, maybe just waiting for the gas. I'm not quite sure. It looks like this SUV wants to. There we go. The starport quite a bit later. In fact, actually, take a look at that. 50% done, but only just started for KawaiiRice, the starport I am talking about. I wonder where that extra gas came from for Sterling. Let's take a look at the income count. It looks like slightly behind for Sterling, but both players relatively even so far. I wonder why KawaiiRice's starport was so delayed, and well, this has got to be the answer. He's produced one tank fairly early here. This tank just finishing for Sterling. So KawaiiRice opted to go for an earlier tank for a later starport, and let's see how that plays out. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference here, but Sterling opting to go for a very quick expansion here. And KawaiiRice, depending on what he scouts, might want to do the same. A nice scan by Sterling. Let's go and take a look at what he saw. He sees the edge of that starport producing something. He's not sure if there's an add-on on that starport just yet. And that's critical information that you really would have liked to have, and you know that just goes to show the excellent positioning of KawaiiRice's buildings. Meanwhile, KawaiiRice, he must have done a scan too. He sees everything that Sterling is doing. Similar openings. Sterling getting that Viking there. I do believe KawaiiRice though got a medevac, and there we see it moving across. And it looks like KawaiiRice might want to make a timing. Does he realize that Sterling expanded? I'm not sure, but either way, this timing push is going to be fairly strong. Siege research is not done for Sterling just yet, and it's a little bit earlier for KawaiiRice, so this could be a really strong timing coming up here. Let's see how much damage KawaiiRice can do. Sterling slightly out of position, I would say. Having his units up on this area is not ideal, but Sterling has to know where his opponent is coming in from, and very nice marine positioning. That's going to alert Sterling of what angle KawaiiRice is coming in from. This Viking is going to allow Sterling the air control advantage, and that is just so... Oh my goodness. And here comes KawaiiRice on the side. I'm going to keep my voice down because Sterling is fairly nearby, but this could be really dangerous. Sterling needs to be wondering, okay, where did my opponent go? My marine just saw him on the edge of this map, and oh my god, not even sliding people. Oh, and KawaiiRice is elevating his units up top with that medevac. Beautiful play by KawaiiRice. Now I can see why he wanted that early medevac, and this is going to be really, really intense. I really like how he's positioned to siege tech in the bottom, but Sterling still suspects nothing, and oh my god, this could do a lot of damage. Here comes the marines right into the mineral line. How many SCVs will he get? He gets 2 right off the bat, and a third, none mining gas, and the SCVs have no choice but to relinquish mining, and the tank gets a good shot off on all those SCVs, and this is huge damage being done by KawaiiRice, and in fact, he could just pack up and leave if he wants to, but it looks like he's going to take the fight. The SCVs are participating in this push. KawaiiRice is losing a lot of his marines. He does get 1 tank down, but he eventually does lose everything. At what cost? Let's go take a look. Oh my goodness. 19 harvesters to 31. KawaiiRice, being the great player that he is, started an expansion during that push, but it's not quite done yet. So even though Sterling took heavy damage, I would not count him out just quite yet, but great opening move by KawaiiRice right at the opening of this game, and he's got to be feeling pretty comfortable now. And this is a stage of the game where you start realizing the moves that your opponent is pulling, and Sterling is probably going to be put a little on the back foot at this point because he really was not expecting that drop. KawaiiRice making great use of that back path area and the early medevac to really do quite a bit of economic damage. And you can see the advantage still showing right here in the harvester count, but now it looks like Sterling wants to try for a counter push. And if we look at the food count, it seems KawaiiRice is actually ahead by quite a bit, and great positioning by KawaiiRice. Siege tanks in high ground positioning are just so strong, and the fact that he has his Xel'Naga tower, great play on the map by KawaiiRice, just showing familiarity with this map. And despite the fact that there's a Viking here, KawaiiRice is using that Xel'Naga tower to emulate the air control advantage, and my goodness, KawaiiRice is just playing this brilliantly, and this is the kind of decision making and strategy that you need to win a TVT. Now, what can Sterling do? It's not like he can push through this Xel'Naga area, and usually in TVT, when people are caught in that position, they go for drops. Like, here comes a Banshee by KawaiiRice, relentless aggression, expansion for KawaiiRice, just now settling, going to be saturated fairly soon. This Banshee is going to do a lot of damage. How much will Sterling commit to defend this? 2 Marines coming, but that's not going to be nearly enough, and the Banshee has cloak. There it goes down. Does Sterling have a scan? No, it looks like he has just 1, but he does not want to waste that scan. He needs to wait until more Marines are there. There's the Viking, and that's going to do a lot of damage. The Banshee tries to run from the scan area, and it looks like it will get away. Another scan only 8 energy away for Sterling, but so much damage done by this Banshee, 11 kills. Meanwhile, Sterling does not want to commit too many Marines from the center because that could be in a lot of trouble. Here comes the second scan, and this will certainly kill the Banshee, but again, so much economic damage. Look, nearly a 50% increase of harvesters for KawaiiRice, and what a strong opening at this game. KawaiiRice is just playing so well, and here comes the Banshee from the front. No more scans for Sterling. If that Banshee does decide to cloak, it could do a lot of damage. Sterling has to relinquish position of the middle of the map, and that was absolutely beautiful by KawaiiRice from the point where he took that Zelnaga tower. I mean, even farther back than that, from when he did that drop in the back, he knew he could hold his position on that Zelnaga tower despite the amount of units that Sterling had, and now Sterling is coming in from the side. He's going to do a little bit of a side push himself, but KawaiiRice does have control of this. He does see this huge group of units coming in here, and KawaiiRice is going to rush back in time. Oh my goodness, and KawaiiRice gets the first siege up here. Does he have stim? His Marines do not have stim. That's a lot of free Vikings. 2 Vikings go down, and this one Banshee could do a lot of damage, and it's doing some nice micro, and these tanks really cannot siege up at all. The instant they force themselves to be stationary, this Banshee will do a lot of damage, but it looks like the Marines are coming back to try to snipe the Banshee, but a second Banshee here, and this is such a tense situation. Sterling has put himself in a corner, and good game. KawaiiRice just demonstrating why he is such a strong player, just one step ahead of Sterling all game long, and that was an intense series, ending in Sterling surrendering, just gonna give up and go to the next match, which could be the smart idea in this best of series. I do believe it is still a best of 3 here, but Sterling looking like he might be knocked down to the losers bracket. KawaiiRice looking very strong, and I have to say his planning was just so great throughout the whole match.